So again, a little more on safety, part 3, if you will. So we talked about moving slow. We talked about maintaining proper form as you get to failure. So I'm going to talk more about proper form. So first of all, you want to move, a lot of times people have this idea of functional and doing all sorts of so-called natural movements and whatnot. But in fact, what you want to do is you want to move in accordance. Let me do that. I'm looking at a poster here. In accordance with muscle and joint function. In other words, your arm is supposed to do this. This is what the joint's supposed to do. Moving every which way, whatnot, does not help functional anything. That is very commonly held, but nevertheless false myth. If you need to acquire skill in a given activity, you need to practice that activity completely separately from your conditioning. When you're working, you should be using your muscles in accordance with proper joint and muscle function, whatever that happens to be for the given musculature. The other part about good form, other than moving slowly, is how you deal with the turnarounds. So what are turnarounds? Turnarounds is when you are changing direction. So when you're driving your car, I'm willing to bet that when you get to stop signs, you don't suddenly slam on the brakes 5 feet before the stop sign, look both ways quickly, and then floor your car. And the reason you don't do that, it would be very hard on your car, not to mention the necks of yours and your passengers, to do that. So you always stop very slowly and gradually, and you start slowly and gradually. Well, you should do the same with your body. Turnarounds, when you change direction in exercise, you should come to a stop relatively smoothly. You should start relatively smoothly in order to minimize. Not only will that make it safer, but again, more effective because you're keeping the muscle loaded throughout the whole activity. So a big thing is, don't think about lifting weights up and down. Don't think about what you're doing to the weights, but with the weights you're doing to your muscles. So turnarounds are really important. The other side of a turnaround is when those exercises where there's a possibility of fully extending a joint, you want to avoid that, because when you fully extend a joint, let's say I was doing a push-up here, then for that moment when my joint is fully extended, I've unloaded the muscle because my bone is holding the weight and not my musculature. So I want to stop when I'm still a little bit bent. But the other side of it is when I fully extend the joint, the possibility of hyperextending the joint, and you're for a second bone on bone is hard on bone. So that's another safety aspect. So I'll talk a little bit more on form in the next video. Bye for now.